Hello, my name is Dr. Dion Kramer Washington, or many of you know me as Dr. Dion or Dee Dee. And I want to share with you a little bit today about purpose and destiny. I've had some quiet time to myself the last week and a half or so, and God has really been dealing with me about some things. And I thought I'd share my thoughts with you because I know that many of you are walking in purpose and you're walking in destiny. And for some that don't have a chance to really sit down, and maybe perhaps you have children or things going on in your household and you really can't sit down and have that quiet time, I just want to share some of the things that was imparted in my spirit, and perhaps this can help you on your walk. First of all, about purpose and destiny. God gives each of us a purpose and a destiny. That means something specific in this lifetime that we were born specifically to do. And it's pretty awesome because no matter who lived before us or who will live after us or during this time, no one will be able to do your purpose, what you've been called to do, and fulfill your destiny. No one can do it for you. And it's so awesome because you are the only one with the fingerprint or the blueprint for that particular plan, that particular design. When God first tells you about your purpose and he reveals it to you, he reveals to you what your destiny is about. It's a scary time because many times we second guess ourselves. We wonder if God is really speaking to us about the specific thing, if we're really qualified to do it, if he's really calling us to do it. And then as time goes on, certain people will come and they will reinforce what God has spoken to you. They'll reiterate it. They'll speak things over your life, and you'll say it'll be serve as a confirmation that this is so. So then you continue on your walk. But then many times we encounter on this walk certain individuals and people that have different purposes as it relates to our purpose and destiny. There is a dark side and there is a light side. And whenever you're dealing with the light side, these people serve as angels. They're there specifically to encourage you. Many times they don't have to say things to your face. They can just sit back and pray for you. They can be there for you. They can offer encouraging words to you. It's just that their spirit is in alignment with you and what God has called you to do, and they're there to serve as a midwife, if you will. On the other hand, often you have people that are sent from the dark side. And the dark side would represent people that are naysayers. They're the ones that tell you that you can't do it. They speak negativity over your life. They try to inflict situations that will cause you not to be able to do what it is that God has called you to do. These people are the naysayers. Now, I want to backtrack a little bit because I want to liken your purpose and walking in purpose and destiny to that of giving birth to a child. I have friends that have had children. I've never carried a child myself, but I have friends that have carried children, and they often tell me when they were pregnant that they were at home for long periods of times. Many times they felt lonely, but they knew they were carrying something so precious, and they knew that they could not, go certain places, talk to certain people, do certain things. It was a plethora of things that they could not do because they were carrying something so precious. So many times it was lonely. Many times it brought in a level of depression, because it seemed like people were going forward and doing things that they wanted to do, but they just sat back until the time for them to give birth. Well, when you're walking in purpose and destiny, often that's the type of situation you'll find yourself in, where you have to be quiet. You have to sit back. You do need alone time because what God has impregnated you with is something so precious that you can't afford to be around certain people, especially when you don't know what their agenda is. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're faced with being alone or being quiet, don't despise that, because that's just you, like an incubation time where God is working on the purpose, the plan, making the path straight for you to be able to walk in your destiny. And you have to be careful when he gives you this purpose and you get this vision, because this is imperative right here. You cannot tell everybody what God is doing in your life. There has been times when I was seeking, whether it was a pageant title I was after, seeking a degree, seeking a position, seeking just simply walking in my purpose. that God has had to put a lock on my mouth. And even those sitting around me had no idea what was spoken over my life. I mean, not for days, not for a week, not for a month. I'm talking about for years that I had to sit there in silence, where people are wondering what's going on in her mind, what's going on with her. Yet God said, you can say nothing. Now that was for a reason. Everybody in the world is not against you. But then, as I explained earlier, there is a dark side and there is a light side, and there are some people that mean you no good. These people are called dream stealers, dream killers. They're out to sabotage everything that God has put in place. They have no other purpose on this earth than to come here and sabotage what God is trying to do in your life. So thus, you have to be careful what you say, be careful where you go, be careful what you do, be careful who you speak to, because everybody is not in your corner. There'll even be times that people that you are sent to help, or that you are sent to do good things for, sometimes they'll even turn on you. People that you have invested in, when you want to share with them, it seems like they would be happy for you, but many times you'll find that they are not. So the moral of the story right at this segment is to be careful that we don't talk too much. Be careful of who's around. Be careful of what we do. Be careful of what we say. And make sure that we keep the purpose and the destiny safe, because purpose and destiny is a powerful thing. Many people go through life and they're chasing after things. They're chasing after people. They're chasing after situations, titles. That's just ridiculous. Okay? Because one thing you need to know about this life, if you are not walking in your God-given purpose, your destiny, and following the will of God for your life, you are chasing a rainbow that is never going to end. That means you're never going to reach it. You're going after something that as soon as you apprehend it, you'll find out April Fool is like a joke. It's not going to yield any fruit. It leads to absolutely nothing. So the only thing in your life worth living for, even if it causes a sacrifice, is your purpose and destiny. So therefore, that's why I, put emphasis on the importance of protecting what God has given you, because the people don't care. It's not their purpose or destiny. They could care less. As a matter of fact, most people are in a competition with you. So they're half of them are trying to walk in your shoes. That's the first problem. And when God has a design specifically for their lives, that's the first problem. And the second group of people, they don't want you to get somewhere before they get somewhere. So I don't want to belabor the negative part, but it's important that we do touch on that, because you can abort a baby. You can let someone do an abortion on you by setting you up and by doing things when you step out of where you're supposed to be. Or you can simply miscarry your purpose and your destiny by talking and saying things and talking to the wrong people, being in the wrong places, so forth and so on. Okay, so we just want to keep the purpose safe. We want to walk the way we're supposed to walk. Now, the next thing is you need to be ready for a fight. And when I say a fight, we're not fighting a physical fight. But there'll be situations, there'll be people, there'll be certain circumstances that will try to cause you to have a miscarriage. They'll try to pull you out of character. This thing of walking in purpose and destiny is no joke. The only way you cannot make it there is if you forfeit, if you miscarry. The only way you can miscarry is if you quit. That's number one. Number two is if you come out of character or do something which will make you have forfeit the fight. So you have to be ready to fight a clean fight. How do you fight a clean fight, Dr. Washington? You fight a clean fight by knowing the Word of God, because the Word of God gives you the instructions. The Word of God gives you direction on what you need to do, how to navigate through pits and snakes and demons, it gives you motivation and encouragement. It edifies. It uplifts your spirit, because the Word of God, it only yields positive fruit in your life. When you read the Word of God, it just lifts you up. It gives you a sense of esteem about yourself. So it's imperative that you know the word of God and that you speak it, because in the word of God are the promises. And when you speak the promises with faith, this is what releases you to the next level. It's not just reading a word. It's not just like a magic potion, some genie in a bottle. But when you read the word, you have to believe that God is able to do what he said he will do in the word. Thus, it takes you to the next level. So you got to be ready to fight with the word, not only to encourage yourself so that you don't quit. Number two, so you'll know where you're going. Number three, so that you will be empowered